Monk on the beat.
What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Well, guys, we went live a little earlier, got all our anger and sadness out the way from this Trayvon Diggs situation, and of course we'll touch on that again tonight real quick, along with the other things that are relevant to our Dallas Cowboys, not just for this game against the Cardinals.
It's hard to believe, but more things than just the Trayvon injury happened today.
Yeah, I mean, we just, it's just not relevant to the Cowboys in the whole full season spectrum, but even just as soon as the Cardinals here in Week 3. So we're going to discuss this and more. Of course, you're seeing a defensive player for the Cardinals there because we're going to talk Cardinal defense versus our Texas Coast offense. Yes, we're going to get back on track after the derailment and the news of Trayvon Diggs earlier tonight. But, baby, before we even get into all of that, we got to talk with the chat here and see who's in the house. And also shout out those that are in the house that rep the channel and keep it going forward each and every single day. Like our sponsor of the week, you know where he's from, Hawaii, Mark Hosepian.
A big mahalo to you, Mark.
Back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys. Appreciate you. Jason Renfro hanging in there with 28 Malik Hooker points on the stream, boss. And Snug X, 6 straight weeks. Will he go for 7? He's our Cash App king, and he's currently in a tie for that first place spot this week with Roger Dat Asher. So we're going to see who rocks that this week. Will it be Roger? He's in a tie right now with Snug X. Snug X, 6 in a row. When it comes to the gifting memberships, truly appreciate those that dropped the love through there. Earlier tonight, Jason Renfro dropped through their gifting membership, and now he's in a tie with him and Skeptical Fan. These are the two ballers of the gifting, side of things. A new feature we got here a couple months ago, back from YouTube. So much love to those two guys who are currently in first place in a tie. And of course, Brandon James Shea also gave one up there too. So appreciate him. Right now, it is a battle, right? But they're trying to take that crown away from Ron the Don, holding that down. So appreciate Ron, where he's our gifting champion from last week. And then when you look at the overall board, currently sitting right now, trying to get that sponsor of the week, Marco Seppian is right there, but he's right behind John Montgomery, who's currently rocking that top spot here on a Thursday night, which we're going to talk a little Thursday night football here. It is relevant. The Giants in the East and the Niners in the NFC. We're going to discuss that and more here tonight. But before we can go there, I was going to say, you got the super chats. You got different ways of dropping love, jumping in the membership.
Yeah.
You can hit that thanks button. And here's another example from the great Jason Renfro, who's now in first place on that gifting board because he just gifted a membership to the lucky Tommy Montoya in the house.
Congrats, Tommy. Thank you again, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you as always. And Mr. MCF is making his behind-the-scenes adjustments.
Yeah,
of course.
Jason's in third place on the overall board, but in the gifting board, he just jumped over Skeptical Fan. He hit a field goal. Skeptical got a safety. It's 3-2, Jason, with the lead currently, baby. Not only are we talking about that, also what are the ways that they can help out with the channel here, dropping the love and, helping things here.
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a Super Chat.
Yes. And as always here, nightly, it's Fan Friday, we do the silver level too, but tonight we do the star and over everything level every night here in My Cowboys Family. When it comes to the shout-outs to people that run the show, much love the Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potch, Ron the Don Smith, Marissa Sparkle, De Lunatic, and Snug X. Cannot do this thing without your guys' love and support. And just another friendly reminder in case you were wondering, star level membership over everything. Any of those two levels, the top levels here, you get a chance to win a new shiny authentic like sewn and stitched jersey, your choice. A lot of players, new and old, from the Man Cowboys Mosh through us here at MCF. So again, if you're in that membership, an extra perk if you're in the star level or over everything side of things. But let's get back to business here, guys, and shout out those that are in the chat here, ready to talk some Cowboy football tonight with us.
Again, thank you so much to Choctaw Montana 808 in the house. Kevin Bilbo, hello. Stephen White, what's up? Scorpio representing. Much love to Asmodeus. Of course, Tommy Montoya got that gifted membership. Jason Renfro in the house, the stream boss. Metalbird Cowboy fan, much love. Zachary Standard, and yes, I have to read his comment. Said the 49ers low-key struggled with the Giants in that first half.
I'd say the fourth quarter, they finally pulled away. Interesting.
So, very interesting. Obviously, touching on that a little bit. Tonight, skeptical fan always staying skeptical. Colleen K, injuries definitely suck. We're always wishing the best for any injured player, but especially tonight for Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
Retro Scotty, what's up? Justin Quarles, the Q-Man.
Q-Man in the house.
Daniel Berry Sports, hello and hi. House Nelson in the house. That's right, that J-Lou too. Really gonna come through now. 30 South MVP, what's up? Mari Roberts in the house. Let me see who else is here. Rolling back a little bit. I think we're almost, Jared Morrison. Hey, Freedom First. I think you were first today. Let me see. Yep, so again, that is everyone here so far tonight. So, baby, I'm going to go ahead, pass it off to you so we can get to, again, the other things that happened today outside of the trade.
There's more things. So, as we get rolling here, guys, got to start it off with what went down today on Thursday Night Football. And the 49ers, as you guys kind of already mentioned there, they did beat the Giants. So no surprise there. No surprise Jason Renfro dropping that 151, the $1.51 holler here in the super chat. Much love. You know what he said? Go Cowboys. Much love, Jason. Appreciate you. It's still in third place, but getting closer. Getting close not just to second, but also first. So much love, Jason Renfro. Appreciate you. He's up to 30 points on that stream, boss. The Niners took down the Giants. The Niners also extended their regular season win streak. Of course, they lost in the playoffs. One game they've lost since this streak, and that was the Eagles in the playoffs. So 13-game win streak for the Niners. Christian McCaffrey scored a touchdown his 12th straight game. Brock Purdy threw 2 touchdown passes. The Niners beat the Giants, who not that good, but they snuck by them there in the fourth, pulled away. It was a one-possession game, by the way, in the fourth quarter. The Niners did beat them, got the 13th straight regular season win. They won 30-12. So they handled them pretty well at the end. They pulled away with 2 touchdowns. But the Niners were not sharp at all in their offense. And this is their home opener. And but again, they got enough out of their running machine. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, we're going to have to stop him when we meet him in a couple of weeks. So again, he had, big runs from him. You had big catches by Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. And the Niners are 3-0 right now to start the season. Again, this is their second 3-0 start in the last 25 years. So, again, they're having a pretty good time themselves over there. They're showing that, hey, we're the number one team right now. All right, well, we're going to have to come. Yeah, we're going to have to. Again, I don't think they really showed that much. I'm not going to get into the Niners because I don't really care. I don't care about us.
Yeah, we already know it's almost irrelevant what they do. It just matters what we do from now until a few weeks from now, and then beyond.
When we meet, and then we meet, and that's when it matters. But that's the thing, though, guys. Again, to me, they looked beatable. I mean, I think our Cowboys probably would definitely hang in there with them. Again, they were playing the Giants, and they were in a struggle there until the fourth quarter. They pulled away. So, look, things differently. It happened differently. We got a better defense than the Giants, even without Trayvon Diggs. We have, I believe, a much better offense than the Giants, even if we're not a top offense right now. So, to me, I have no fear about the Niners, but this is just what I'm saying. The media is going to run with this, and I'm going to say the Niners are number one by far because we lost Trayvon Diggs. You'll hear it tomorrow on all the outlets. Don't say I didn't warn you guys. I won't be watching. You guys can let me know tomorrow, though. Now, outside of this game, as we move on to another real quick little piece of news for the Cowboys, and this is not even Cowboy news, but I say it's always Cowboy relevant when we talk about it here on MCF, and it's about the Patriots, which if you look at the schedule this week, we get the Cardinals, and we're going to talk about their defense. Look at the Patriots next week. They picked up former Cowboys quarterback Will Grier. who's been with the Cowboys a year and a half or so and knows a lot of our offense and a lot of our tricks, whatever it may be. The Niners, the Patriots, we play them next week. So is this a Bill Belichick little trickery there that, always tries to bring in somebody that was formerly with us and maybe start some studying now on the Cowboys? They're going to be coming to Dallas, as you can see there. But Will Greer will also be going to Dallas with the Patriots.
But MCF, you said you had to watch.
As far as, I'm sorry, I missed that. I had to watch what?
I'm assuming it was based off a comment you just said. I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know the comment. I'm confused there. Make sure you
break
it down for me.
Haley go ahead and clarify that.
Yeah, but again, when it comes to Will Greer, he's going to be on the Patriots now, and we will see him in Dallas. Again, here's the thing about Will Greer. He was on the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. And now that the Patriots plucked him from their practice squad to put Will Greer on their 53, that means that the Bengals do not have a quarterback 2 right now on their roster. If for some reason he cannot play on Monday night. Will Greer was the next guy up. So it looks like the Bengals going to be, looking for a guy to back up Joe Burrow, especially now that Will Greer has been plucked from their team. Will Greer is a very hot topic right now, it seems like. Taken from the Cowboys. When we released him, the Bengals put him on their practice squad. And now Bill Belichick just plucked him and said, give me some info on the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys played them in Week 4 in Dallas. Will Greer was on the Cowboy roster last year and in training camp this entire season. This entire training camp, the entire preseason under Mike McCarthy. So I don't put anything past Bill Belichick. He's spying on us, guys. I usually we don't say this to him, but I think he's the kind of guy you can't put anything past. He's spying on us, getting ready for us in 2 weeks. He's already getting ready for us now. So anyways, now that's the first swath of news. I'm going to get into the Trayvon Diggs thing here real quick. Any quick comments not on Trayvon Diggs or anything else that I just talked about? And maybe Haley Knight for Weird kind of clarified something?
No, let's keep it rolling.
All right, let's keep it going.
I'll let you know.
All right, good, thank you. So let me throw up here I almost threw up when I heard about Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, okay. So Haley Knight for Weird said, watching those NFL shows, the crap shows that you have to watch for the news and to stay.
I do not watch. I say, I do.
Watch them if we absolutely have to.
And I watch.
We do
I
try
watch
to
clips.
only watch the main clips of what they say.
We just watch the clips off Twitter. People retweet it and repost it and repost it, and finally I'm just like, what the fuck are they talking about? And as I look at it, and it's like, okay, there's Joy Taylor, there's Stephen A. Schmidt. Shits over there. He was throwing a real bad first pitch for the Yankees today. Boy, that was ugly. You got, Skip Sayless, all these people. I never watch any of these punks. I only get a clip here and there when it's thrown up 50 times, retweeted in 10 minutes. Then I got to look at it, yes, because of some of the people that bring it up after it gets passed around, thrown down like that. So, yeah, I hear you. But, yeah, there's nobody making time for that.
That's what he...
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying... I didn't know. That was kind of out of context.
Bad for you?
Oh, okay.
That you're forced to...
I don't watch it, but when I have to see it, when I have to see those clips, it does infuriate me a little bit. I don't want to go through that. Anyway, I advise everybody, don't watch. Don't watch. So let me talk about it and get angry through me and then let it go.
Our lives are definitely a lot nicer now that Skip Bayless is making a lot less headlines.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Back to you, baby.
Yeah, we still got Stephen A. Smith and a whole shitload of haters on all the FS1s. They love to talk about, Shady McCoy and Emmanuel Acho. They can't stop talking shit about the Cowboys.
The caliber of quarterback skills Stephen A. is coming with. So now I know to disregard every .com.
Yeah, he ain't no quarterback. So anyways, guys, on that note, yes, we got to talk about Trayvon freaking Diggs, what happened today, the breaking news earlier today. Trayvon Diggs out for the season, diagnosed with a torn ACL. Again, it happened during one-on-one period at Thursday's practice. He was seen right afterwards in the locker room, leaving the locker room, walking on crutches. Again, at the time, and earlier today, it was like, okay, what's going on? A lot of stuff went around and what could happen. Obviously, it's serious if he's on crutches. A brutal blow for the Cowboy defense, who's been, elite, maybe one of the best in decades in the NFL, not just for the Cowboys. So, again, it's unfortunate. I'm going to go back to the one-on-one training, the one-on-one drills. I got a little insight on that. But basically, Trayvon Diggs' injury occurred after that window, which the reporters are there watching and taking pictures and can view practice. Cowboys are working on the outdoor field, not the indoor turf, outdoor natural grass field at the Ford Center at the Star. Since he was drafted, Trayvon Diggs, second round 2020, 18 career interceptions, tied the single-season Cowboy record with 11 picks in 2021. This offseason we signed him, as we all know, to a 5-year, $97 million contract extension in July. Diggs has been playing out of this world. Let's be real about this season. At least the 2 games, he's been a dog out there. And, maybe the most physical football of his career right now, up until this unfortunate development at practice. J-Ron Curse, he said, quote, the best cornerback in the league to start this season. And we're going to step up for Trey. I don't think this shit going to stop at all. Prayers for my little brother, Trey Day. Now, again, yesterday was his birthday. I'll talk about that a little more. It's unfortunate because he had to skip a concert, but he's going to skip the whole season. I think that's more of a big deal for Trayvon Diggs. This was his lower... Again, when you look at the quarterbacks attacking Trayvon Diggs this season, it's only been Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. When quarterbacks target him, their QBR, their passer rating is at 1.0. Unbelievable numbers there. But here's the crazy thing, and I want to make sure we all get on the same page, because this is the guy that's going to be taking over from DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland is second in the NFL when quarterbacks attack him. But again, all his snaps have come from the slot, from that nickel cornerback slot, not the outside slot. So even though that looks good, he's done good last year too, don't get me wrong. He did very well last year as the outside corner. But again, I'm going to reiterate, he's much better. My thing is that he's much better at the slot, at the nickel, but he is our backup outside guy, the next guy on the list, and he can do the inside-outside stuff. So DaRon Bland, great numbers for him. When you throw at him, he's going to be right there. He's kind of doggish too. Don't sleep on DaRon Bland. Then you had Steven Nelson with the Texans. He allowed 40.3 QBR. Very good. But again, the 2 guys in front of him are Cowboys, and they're 16.7 and 1.0. Rasul Douglas, the Packers, 41.9. Isaiah Oliver from the Niners, 52.1. Domination by our cornerbacks, however you slice it. But now, no Trayvon Diggs. Next-gen stats over the last 3 years, they said Trayvon Diggs has held opposing quarterbacks to the lowest passer rating by any cornerback or safety in the NFL. And that's a guy to lose, unfortunately, for us. Surtain had 68.6. Kevin Byard, 67.9. When it comes to passer rating against them, Rasul Douglas, 66.7. Trayvon Diggs, 63.0. By far the best. Now, as far as Joshua Dobbs, our opponent this week, the Cardinals quarterback, he said, quote, I know they just added Stephon Gilmore on their team, but you obviously have Trayvon Diggs, who's elusive in the secondary. You have to know where he is. And it just pains me to know that they were really worried about him. Now they can breathe a little easier when it comes to at least Trayvon Diggs in the secondary. Now, when Dak was asked today what happened to Trayvon Diggs, Dak said, quote, I'm not going to speak on anything. And this was before anybody knew what was going on. He was on crutches. So he said, Dak said, quote, I'm not going to speak on anything. It's way too early. I saw what I guess a couple of you saw, him leaving the field, but prayers and hoping for the best. Of course, we know now. We knew shortly afterwards. Dak didn't know. Nobody knew at the time, but it didn't look good, and Dak kind of felt that it was going to be an unfortunate situation. The Cowboys, unfortunately, we said this on the last stream, have experienced an unbelievable like decimation of ACL tears for the last 33 days.
33 days.
Since August 19th, guys. Trayvon Diggs is the fourth of these guys on their left knee, specifically left knee ACL tears. First was DeMarvin Overshown, and in the same game, John Stevens Jr. at tight end. Then we lost David Durden, the receiver. Wasn't going to make the team, maybe practice squad, but he's injured. Obviously, same ACL tear in the left knee. And now Trayvon Diggs as well. So all 4 of these guys, 33 days, 4 torn left ACLs. It's fucking sickening.
I did want to clarify as far as the Trayvon injury, just because I saw we did have someone asking in the chat as well. That did happen on grass. I said that. I know, I'm just kind of clarifying just in case. But yeah, that was not a turf injury. So as much as we'd love to blame the AT&T Stadium turf or just turf in general, this was what Stephen Jones described as an awkward step.
And remember, guys,
just a freak accident.
Actually, Stephen Jones is going to talk about. You have some Stephen Jones stuff here in a minute.
I just wanted to repeat that now for the people hopping.
Yeah, I just want to also say that they weren't. Of course, you said AT&T turf. The Ford Center is where they practice. That would be the indoor turf they practice on. They were outside on natural grass. It was on grass, guys. So just so you know, it was not turf. And no turf involved here. And Stephen Jones kind of brings that kind of what happened. Do you want to actually say that now? It's a good idea to kind of say the Stephen Jones commentary here, because he kind of gave us an insight of what happened, the thing that nobody else saw except for the players, coaches, and front office.
Exactly. So he said because remember, this happened after the open media portion.
The reporters walked off the field.
All the reporters are already gone by the time this happened. But he said it's unfortunately how these things can happen. He just took an awkward step trying to make a play on a ball. It torqued the wrong way and got his knee. It didn't look like much, but when those steps get awkward, unfortunately, sometimes the ligaments don't hold up. So, and that was as far as the Trayvon injury, but he did touch a little bit on what we can expect as far as, like, okay, so what's, like, the short-term answer real quick? Because he touched on that very quickly. He just said, I think we've got good men on this roster who can step up and play. Jordan Lewis is a good nickel corner. We'll kick Deron Bland outside like we did last year. I think Bland ended up with, like, 5 or 6 interceptions. So I think we're in a good spot. So, again, I don't know if this is going to be like the forever defensive plan moving forward, but at least in the short term right now, this is definitely the plan. Stephen Jones is saying it himself, and I'm expecting Dan Quinn to probably finesse it a little bit as the weeks go on.
Yeah, we'll discuss a little more about this, but that's basically what happened there. Stephen Jones, from Stephen Jones' own mouth, his words, and his own eyes, I saw that. I want to say something about this happened on a one-on-one drill, and former Cowboy quarterback Ben DiNucci, I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
Ben DiNucci said he never understood why the Cowboys did one-on-one, 1v1 drills during the regular season. You know, he said this in response to the Trayvon Diggs ACL tear. A lot of teams, I don't know if every team, but a lot of teams don't do the one-on-one drills, in practice. So I don't know if this is, something that we have to learn more about. Is it that most teams don't do it? Some teams do, some teams don't. Is it McCarthy the only one doing it? Then we have to maybe talk about, okay, maybe McCarthy needs to cut back on that. And maybe it is on McCarthy. But this is Ben DiNucci. Don't know what his viewpoint is on things or what he sees. But either way, we all know that this happened on one-on-one drills in practice. Again, DiNucci said basically he understands why they do it in training camp, but why are we doing it in the regular season with the Cowboys? Something to keep an eye on. Again, it just happened only with McCarthy. I guess that's all he's been here for, so I guess it is. Trayvon Diggs had planned on, in case you're wondering, I don't know if he was wondering about this, but we're going to let you know. He was planning on going yesterday he turned 25. He was planning on going to the Beyonce concert today at AT&T Stadium. And, he had planned on going to the concert. He bought a suite, celebrated his birthday with family and friends and a lot of people there. He had a silver outfit prepared to wear. Of course, he's not able to go to that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a big night out, a big event. It ended up being a big event for a very different reason, unfortunately. Yeah.
So when you look at who's stepping up next for Trayvon Diggs, it's going to be, as you just heard Stephen Jones say, Gilmore is going to be out there. On the other side, on the other outside cornerback spot, it's going to be Deron Bland. And in the slot, left or right side, playing that inside, receiver, is going to be Jordan Lewis full-time now instead of the backup. Now, this is obvious the way it's going to be. That's what Stephen Jones kind of repeated. Beyond these three guys, it starts to get worrisome. I know Iggy, I'm going to talk about him, Noah Igbinoghene. He's a guy that is going to be in the plan here as an outside cornerback, as a backup. So again, when you look at these three guys, Gilmore, Deron Bland, and Jordan Lewis, listen, I'm not too worried about these three guys picking up the slack. I don't like the fact that we've downgraded a bit here, but we still are not downgraded that much when you got Deron Bland and a starter in there, Jordan Lewis, who was starting there last year over Deron Bland. So it kind of fits still. Not the ideal situation, but it does. We're not losing too much ground. Some people out there, and I'm sorry to say, some people making crazy comments like the season's over. That's just stupid. We might not win. We might win the Super Bowl, but the season's far from over. It's far from over, guys. So, again, according to the front office, and you just heard Stephen Jones, but, we have more background on the situation. With Trayvon Diggs out for the season with the ACL tear, as Stephen Jones said, moving Deron Bland out on the outside. Jordan Lewis goes in the slot. And Noah Igbinoghene, I don't know how I'm saying name it. He's the depth piece. He's the next guy up, next man up, in case something happens to Gilmore or something happens to Bland. If something happens to Jordan Lewis, then someone probably like Israel Mukuamu steps in that slot cornerback spot where he did really well last year for the two playoff games as the slot nickel cornerback, not as the outside corner. You hear people talk about him outside corner. No, that's just clickbait trash out there, so do not listen to that. Now, Deron Bland last year proved he can hold it down. He's good. I mean, we'll see him get better, hopefully, now. But, again, when you have an elite pass rush, that's the thing. It helped Trayvon Diggs and it helped Stephon Gilmore and it helped Bland in the slot. Now it's going to help Bland as the outside guy, and Jordan Lewis is going to get help from that defensive pass rush. And that's why I'm saying it's not going to be such a big decrease in you're not going to be able to see it because the pass rush is still in full effect. So it don't matter. You had Anthony Brown look great last year. Anthony Brown did with our defensive pass rush. You guys feel me on this? So, again, I don't have much fear. It's downgraded a hair right now. Not the biggest downgrade as of the moment. But if we don't have games, we don't have that pass rush, then you may see a little bit more of that wound, right? Of not having Trayvon Diggs there. I think, Jordan Lewis coming in there, restarting again since last year. He was out with that foot injury, but now he's back. He's going to be a backup kind of role player guy. Now he's going to be 10 snaps. Last week he had 10 snaps defensively on Sunday in his first game back. His workload was going to get bigger anyways. The second week, third week back, now it's a lot faster. He's going to start inside. He's getting a full workload there as our nickel corner. I will say this, though, with our safeties, and if we play 5 defensive backs, Jordan Lewis will be the first guy off the field. So keep that in mind as well. So we're still all right. I'm going to keep it at that. Now, and I say that only when we have a heavy nickel, meaning 3 safeties and 2 corners. The odd man out at cornerback will be Jordan Lewis because he's the slot guy. So keep that in mind. Now, not ideal, this whole situation, but the fact that the front office has got to give him some credit here, and Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, and Dan Quinn, that we traded for Gilmore. We got Blandon a great move there by drafting him in the 5th round last year, and it's made it possible for the defense to be able to not drown in quicksand here and stay on their feet as we go through this Trayvon Diggs injury. So, again, Bland is a dog, okay? And so I'm not worried about him there. Gilmore's a vet, but Trayvon Diggs, it's a shame that he's gone. He's a guy, a ball hawk that we're missing in the secondary. And the defense is still going to be dangerous. Please understand that. Instead of being super elite, we might just be elite. I don't know. So, but they're resilient, prideful. It hurts losing a guy like him, so like Trayvon Diggs. So the question is, are we going to grab somebody else, guys? I do not see the Cowboys making any deals, picking up any big-name guy, any big signing. No one's coming on this team. I mean, you hear names. These are the names that are out there right now. Because, again, Casey Hayward, Bradley Roby, Kyle Fuller, William Jackson, Byron Jones, Greedy Williams, and Jason Verrett. Even Anthony Brown, who was on the Steelers practice squad, was picked up was plucked off the practice squad to the Niners on their 53-man roster. And before tonight's game, they released Anthony Brown because they wanted to bring up Trey Swilling from the practice squad to the 53. So by doing that, by moving him up, they had to release somebody in the 53, and that was Anthony Brown. So now the word is they might be trying to pick him back up. The Steelers said he was looking good. Niners said he was looking good. So the Niners are going to probably pick him up and put him on their practice squad. But that's after he clears waivers. The Cowboys have an option here to maybe pick him up. I don't think they will, but if you want to pick up a cornerback, you're not picking up a guy to replace Trayvon Diggs. It's already been done. It's DaRon Bland, and to replace DaRon Bland, it's already been done. It's Jordan Lewis. So there's nothing to worry about there. Now, if Iggy is going to be the backup, Noah Iggy Bonahay, whatever is the whole name, I can't even say his name yet, but number 19, if he's going to be out there as our backup outside corner, do you think Anthony Brown makes it a better backup corner? I don't think so. So I think that, you could throw Anthony Brown in the mix as our 6th or practice squad cornerback. That's the way I see it. At most, that's all we're going to do. At most, and that's truly stretching it. The Cowboys are going to stay with their guys. And, we got guys in here like, Eric, what's his name? Eric Scott Jr., rookie. Of course, Deshaun Wright's coming back after week 4 or can come back. But, after week 4, it might be week 5 or 6 we bring him back. But, Israel Mukwamu, of course, plays safety, but he can play slot cornerback, the nickel corner. So those are the options that are the real options. Eric Scott, Israel Mukwamu, Noah Igbinoghene, and, DaRon Bland, Stephon Gilmore, and Jordan Lewis are our starters as of right now. And like I said, Deshaun Wright comes back in a couple of weeks or so. So what do you guys think about this? I'm kind of just rehashing everything I said earlier. But I want to know what your guys' 2 cents are on this. So maybe I know you made if you have anything to add to that, let me know.
No, I don't really have too much more to say to that other than, again, the only real possible move, at least in my mind, is something similar to, the Noah Iggy move. And we already did that. So also based off the comments that Steven made, again, he's not talking about grabbing guys. He's talking about the guys we have right now. So at least for a few weeks, I mean, guys, it's technically only week 3. We have 5 weeks until the trade deadline. So the Cowboys could easily take 4 of those 5 weeks to evaluate what they have and then decide on the last week. Or, obviously that's just one possibility. So just throw it out there because I do think if we make any kind of move, it'll probably be some kind of a possible trade situation, for a small level player. That's just my personal.
Yeah, we're not trading for Xavier Howard. Guys.
No. It'll be, like I said, it'll be a Noah type
even
of trade.
even less,
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
even less.
Oh, yeah.
There's no Noahs around now. Yeah.
We'll have already
we give up Kelvin Joseph to get Noah. That's the deal there, and we ain't going anywhere else
and
other than free agent
the only other thing
signings.
here, because so many people are mentioning in the chat, I know we brought it up as well, didn't get the chance to really touch on it, but I would not be opposed to bringing back Anthony Brown for some cornerback depth. That's just me personally. I know a lot of us here in the chat are also open to that, just because, again, we're talking about a deep corner who already is familiar with their system, just to add some extra depth. I don't know how you feel about that personally, my love.
Well, no, I already talked about it. So I already discussed the Anthony Brown situation, which I would say is a sixth cornerback or practice squad guy, a real low depth guy, like, you know. Then Anthony, he was our second cornerback last year in the same defense and under Dan Quinn for a year and a half, 2 years.
And yes, Retro Scotty, he did release, he was released by the 49ers.
Yeah, again, Anthony Brown was picked up off of the practice squad onto their 53 from the Steelers.
Dallas J, I think you're getting Anthony Brown mixed up with Will Grier.
Will Grier was signed on the 53 off the Bengals practice squad. He got plucked from the Bengals practice squad to the Patriots. So he's with the Patriots. Anthony Brown was plucked off of... None of these guys are on the Cowboys anymore. Anthony Brown was plucked off the Steelers practice squad onto the Niners 53, and then he was cut today when they added another one of their practice squad guys on the 53, and they released Anthony Brown, who is now a free agent. That was the facts, guys. This is not no bullshit. This is no Fisher or Mike Fisher and those guys. We ain't drunk. So I'm just letting you know.
Haley 94 aware, by the way, throwing out there. We have an excellent cornerback room, even without Diggs, better than a lot of NFL teams. Our backups could start on several teams, and I'm thankful for the depth in the cornerback room. And again,
that's why we congratulate, and I got to give congrats to Jerry and Stephen Jones, Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, and Dan Quinn. Yeah. They made this shit kind of come together.
Jason Renfro said they're going to start putting stakes on the starting quarterbacks we play against, so the Lion will chase them down.
Hey, that's what they see. Our defense already sees that.
Mike already sees
our defense is not going to take many steps back. Although, it's no doubt it's a loss. No doubt, guys. I was down for most of today.
And all good,
trying to get out of it.
Dallas J, again. When all these teams out there throwing out the Cowboys every which way, of course it's going to get confusing, right? Because every ex-Dallas Cowboy player apparently merits a mention. Anyway, Motor City Maniac, Zachary Standard, another great point there as well. So, back to you, baby.
I think Dan Quinn's a master of creating defenses to match our opponents. And Dan Quinn does a very good job. And, hey, look, we got a little injury here, got a big injury there. He knows how to morph it and hide our weaknesses. Dan Quinn does a great job at that. So, there's our Trayvon Diggs discussion today. Let's move on to the other major injury situation. You see him on our front cover there, number 63, Tyler Biadasz, our center. Who, by the way, guys, we talk about some great depth at cornerback. We have zero depth at center. So, center Tyler Biadasz today was limited in practice. He had a hamstring issue that happened in practice, like Trayvon Diggs' issue happened in practice. And he was also scheduled for an MRI, although I don't think those MRI results became public knowledge yet. I hope, knock on wood, it's good. Tomorrow we should know more. But unlike Diggs, who just kind of left the stadium on crutches, Tyler Biadasz chatted with reporters inside the locker room during the media availability period. So that's good news. At least he's not on crutches and walking around and stuff, or I say limping around. So that's good news. But, these hamstrings can be an issue sometimes. And, you saw that with Tyler Smith, our offensive lineman, who, unfortunately has missed 2 games already because of that, hamstring strain. So and a big if here, if Tyler Biadasz cannot play against the Cardinals on Saturday, what do we do at center? We currently, like I said earlier at our live stream, we have 2 centers that are on this roster here, but they're on the practice squad portion of the roster, guys, and that is formerly of the Giants, Sean Harlow, offensive line. You see him right by Biadasz's elbow. And then all the way up in the middle there, Brock Hoffman, number 67, the guy who gets in fights with people and, got into that scuffle with Sam Williams. Of course, who else was involved in that fight? It was also number 63, Tyler Biadasz. So that's the backups, and they're all practice squad guys. So we'd have to actually elevate them to our, to the game day practice, to the game day active squad, or move them completely up to the 53-man roster and then cut somebody. We probably won't do that yet, but we have to know more about what's going on with Tyler Biadasz. So in this scenario, we would have to do this. A second practice squad player likely have to be elevated to serve as Hoffman's backup. If we cannot bring out there Tyler Biadasz, you have to bring up there, Brock Hoffman, and probably Sean Harlow on the practice squad. You have to probably elevate both players, and it won't be a CJ Goodwin now. It'll have to be 2 offensive linemen if Biadasz can't go. So this thing trickles down a little bit farther down, at least for this week. If Biadasz cannot go, we're going to have to fill in that spot and the backup spot, because right now TJ Bass is really the only guy that can kind of maybe snap the ball, but he's very early in his tenure right now trying to learn that center position. So it would have to be 1 or 2 centers elevated, probably 2 for this game against the Cardinals, if there's an issue with Tyler Biadasz. I do have an update, though, on the Badass. He hurt his hamstring in practice today. He's again, MRI was done. We're still waiting for the determination, but according to Cowboy sources in-house, quote, Tyler will be okay. The hamstring issue sounds minor and not as bad as Tyler Smith's injury. So Tyler Smith missed 2 games. It looks like Tyler Smith's going to be back. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. I want you and the chat to tell me what you guys think about Tyler Biadasz in the situation. Again, it's worrisome. Maybe with no depth, even more worrisome. We want to get all 5 offensive line guys playing together. Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele,
the O-line
Biadasz.
situation is actually a little bit more precarious than almost the corner situation. And again, it's not to at all diminish the Trayvon Diggs situation. Let me make that clear. But because of the fantastic depth that we have at corner and the benefit of the D-line, it's like those 2 things combined mean that, hey, obviously it's a big loss with Trayvon Diggs, but the downgrade in talent there isn't as bad, and the consequences of losing Diggs just don't hurt the same way that losing one of our offensive linemen would at this current time. Although I have to admit, Truma did a great job stepping up for the few games that he's had to do so. So I do feel better about some of our depth, but man, that Tyler Biadasz situation, like I was sitting here like, damn, are we really going to be possibly without 2 O-line starters? That's, you can maybe get by without 1. Once you're down to 2 starters down, like that's just, that spells like end of season
and don't forget,
type of shit. You know what I mean?
And don't forget, because we know Zach Martin has an injury. We know Tyler Smith has an injury. Now Biadasz? You're talking about 3 guys possibly could be missing this game, although we know probably 2 of them won't.
So as far as like possible future impactful factors, I do think the O-line is the one that still, even now, concerns me the most. Although obviously now our cornerback situation is a lot more fragile, so we're definitely in that situation where we're 1 man down from being even worse than we were before.
Yeah.
So anyway, I do want to take a second here to shout out someone who dropped a $10 holler in the Cash App.
Who'd that be?
I think you know.
Oh, the man that we know why he's here. We know why he's here. The man SnugX dropping that $10 holler right there. And you know what that means? He's in first place on the Cash App side.
Woo!
So
Thank you so much, Snug.
Much
Appreciate
love
you, of course,
to
with another
Snug.
classic Go Cowboys.
Yeah, much love to Snug. And, he's now in first place in the Cash App, moving up the overall board. Much love to the man SnugX, the Cash App King for 6 straight weeks, going for 7. So what's the chat saying about Tyler Biadasz? Let's keep it to Biadasz now.
Smodi's out there. We haven't, we didn't see these types of injuries as rapidly back in the day. I wonder what happened. Just, again,
faster or stronger players now?
Yeah, I think someone mentioned in our earlier stream, I do want to give you credit, so if you happen to be here, please remind me. But they kind of mentioned that, players are bigger, faster, and stronger now, but they're not necessarily more flexible. So, they don't, they're not really working on their flexibility as much and things like that. So maybe that's another reason you're seeing some of these soft tissue injuries.
Maybe because of all the, the speed and strength, everything increase. And maybe that's just the reason why. Just plain and simple. Just 1 plus 1 equals 2.
I'm going to also assume, just because some of the injuries that we're seeing, across, even just outside of Cowboys, just across the league, right? There are a lot of these ligament type of injuries. Honestly, the knees are still knee injuries are one of those things that we don't really have even now, a good answer or solution for it. Like Stephen Jones said, it's not like Trayvon got hurt because someone rammed into his knee. He got hurt just kind of in an awkward stepping situation.
The wrong way. And
heck, I'm thinking of Nick Chubb too, though, just because, again,
he
got hit straight up in the knee.
That's the opposite.
But you kind of see the kind of vulnerabilities where, at least now in the NFL, that tends to be the one most vulnerable spot that there's really no way around it. So,
Yeah,
right? Everyone's got vulnerable knees right at this moment. So, maybe there can be more information or investigation, but shit, it happened on grass. So it's not like we can't even blame the turf.
I'm going to tell you this, guys. It ain't going to be no answer for that. It's football.
Exactly. So, and again, La'el Collins is done.
What's the question?
Dallas James said, I'd like to sign La'el Collins only if healthy. I think he's hurt. Yeah, he's done.
He's banged up. He's not, again, according to Stephen Jones, he's not, it's his hips, something with the hips. But the thing I'm trying to say is that he don't fix our center problem. Luckily, we have Awesome Richards. We have TJ Bass. He's undrafted and fifth rounders that are in there doing a pretty decent job right now. And then Chuma Edoga, not older, but a veteran who can play guard tackle. The Cowboys are not going to go and get someone else who's going to be worse or the same as what we got.
Yeah, Thomas Gary said they need to get that damn ballerina for the hamstrings. Stubby 1085 said, just had to stop in and laugh at the Giants.
Yeah, that part's, they're laughing at, a lot of teams are laughing at us right now with Trayvon Diggs. But, yeah, the Giants definitely did not look good out there, in my opinion. But I will say this, neither did the Niners. For most of that game, they were, sloppy. And
the Giants were actually kind of hanging there for enough of the game to make it a game.
I'm going to be real. I wouldn't mind the Giants winning this one and upsetting the Niners. But listen, the Niners are too good for the Giants, and we are much better than the Giants. So we'll see what happens in a couple weeks.
I think this game 100% proved that even without Trayvon Diggs, we can hang with the 49ers. We should hang with the 49ers. We will.
Yeah, I want to just touch on, I know Dallas J is worried about the situation in the offensive line. But think about this, though. La'el Collins is not better than Awesome Richards right now. At least Awesome Richards can play. TJ Bass is better than La'el Collins at the guard spot.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised at our current depth.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure there's no worry because there's nothing we can do about this. Like, literally, the Cowboys are not going to pick up a free agent because he has a name and he's old and raggedy, because that's not better than Awesome Richards and TJ Bass. So, and I got to say, I agree with that. Now, can we get better? I'm sure we can. We need a veteran? Yeah, we got one. His name is Chuma Edoga. We're good.
Yeah,
We're
there's
good.
only so much you can do once you start losing offensive linemen. That's why I said we can handle losing one O-line guy. We can't handle missing two. Even if it's just for 1 week, that starts to spell disaster.
So now that we got Tyler Biadasz, it looks like he's going to be okay. It's not as bad as Tyler Smith. Will it be 2 weeks? Will it be 1 week? We'll see. Will it be any weeks? We'll see. But it's on the good side of things, even though I don't like to see any injuries, obviously. And what about Zach Martin? You talk about more guys missing? Well, Zach Martin. Now, today, Mike McCarthy. Well, actually, I'll start with Mike McCarthy. I'm jumping ahead here, guys, because Mike McCarthy spoke, and again, I guess not really a big deal here, but he spoke about the Beyonce concert. The Beyonce concert. See, everyone going to the Beyonce concert. Again, remember, it surrounds about Jerry Jones. This was his stadium and his event being played there, so, of course, everyone's getting asked. Trayvon Diggs was going to be there. Of course, can't do it now. But Mike McCarthy said, they asked him, are you going to that Beyonce concert at the AT&T Stadium tonight? He said, quote, no, but my family's going. It's a work night for me. Now it's a rehab. Unfortunately, not rehab, but now it's a resting season for Trayvon Diggs. So both these.
Yeah, imagine being home while the rest of your family's out enjoying Beyonce. Even I have to admit, I'd be a little bit salty about that. Just a little.
Oh, there you go. Now that was all. He touched on all
McCarthy loves Beyonce.
Exactly. He touched all the situations that were going on earlier today. All that's unimportant. He just touched on some basic stuff. So nothing big. When you look at practice, what went down? Zach Martin had the ankle issue. He got rolled on in the game. Was working to the side of the field with Director of Rehab Britt Brown. And that was towards the end of the media portion of practice. He came out there a little later, but was out there, and we got to see him moving around, which was good. Then, again, moving well, I will say. I will add. So it looks like a positive sign for Zach Martin to play. As long as the word is, as long as he practices on the Saturday walkthrough, which I believe he will, he'll play on Sunday. Definitely. So that's a good sign there. What about the other offensive lineman, Tyler Smith? Another guy we got to definitely worry about if he's out again. And now, what's up with Chuma Edoga? Well, when it comes to Tyler Smith, guys, he'll make his season debut. It sounds like he's going to make that season debut. It's looking more and more like that against the Cardinals because he's getting integrated into practice every day now with the starting lineups, now doing more work with the team drills. Great sign for Tyler Smith. He's with that hamstring tweak. And it was a minor tweak, missed 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens with him. Offensive line, even though we know we're overall weak right now, a lot of little bumps and bruises, it does look like a good sign that the Cowboys have maybe we'll have all 5 guys there. If we don't, you also got to look at Chuma Edoga, right? He's going to have to play in that spot, but he was also banged up. But luckily, he was also in practice today. And the last guy that's been, I guess 2 more guys, but the other guy here banged up in practice and banged up this last game is Brandon Cooks, the wide receiver with the knee issue. He also worked both with the wide receiver group, which is a big step forward, and also doing some rehab stuff with the staff over there. So again, he's looking to make his return against the Cardinals shortly after this practice. Of course, we all know, unfortunately, the Trayvon Diggs situation took over full front and center there. Let me get Brandon Cooks off the way here. That's when we heard. Of course, the practice report came out, and Trayvon Diggs suffering a left knee injury, left knee ACL tear. MRI confirmed a torn ACL. Timetable has not been established for his return. They're going to have to let the swelling go down, do the surgery, whatever it may be. But he's missing the rest of the season. The Cowboys officially announced that today. And then the other guys here, by the way, Jeff Blasco, one of our assistant coaches, on a health of leave of absence still. Right, so he's still out there tending to his situation. Of course, the best for him. Hopefully, goes his way there for Jeff Blasco. Now, as far as the players on the list today, listen, guys, I'm gonna start off with Donovan Wilson. He was on the injured list, the practice squad list, not the practice squad list, the practice participation list, and he had, of course, that calf, strain from the beginning of training camp. Was yesterday full practice, today full practice. He's on his way to play this game, which is fantastic. Now, we also had a couple other guys at full practice here for us. Let's start with our backup lineman, Chuma Edoga. Guys, great news. He was limited yesterday, full today from that elbow injury he suffered in the game against the Jets. Backup, guard tackle, swing tackle. He's good to go. Again, in practice, should be good to go for the game as long as no setbacks for him. Great news as far as depth there for us. So when you look at that, Chuma going from limited to full. Who else went limited to full practice? Our offensive wide receiver here. Brandon Cooks, guys, limited yesterday with the knee. Full practice today. Like I said, to me, Brandon Cooks, Donovan Wilson, Chuma Edoga, and let's not forget this guy here, which may be one of the biggest, jumps forward. Oh, yeah, you see him coming at you. Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith was limited with a hamstring yesterday. Today, full practice. All these guys I just mentioned, Brandon Cooks, Donovan Wilson, Tyler Smith, Chuma Edoga, they're all slated on track to play in this game against the Cardinals on Sunday. So whether you want to see them resting or not, they should be there to go. Now, the other two guys I have kind of left on this list, well, first of all, J-Ron Curse, he did not practice, guys. J-Ron Curse actually missed practice today. He missed it yesterday, too. If you guys remember, he was sick. He had an illness. Yesterday was not in practice at all. Today he was at the stadium, at the practice field, but did not practice. He was a DNP, did not participate in practice today. But he'll be playing in the game as long as, I'm assuming this illness will go away before the game. And the last guy, of course, we know the limited guy was Trayvon Diggs. I discussed already the details of the Tyler Biadasz injury, which, again, he was also listed as limited because he got hurt in practice. Like the way Trayvon Diggs got hurt in practice, that means they're listed as limited. Tomorrow we'll know about the MRI. We'll know more about the extent of the injury tomorrow from Mike McCarthy. I'm assuming he will not practice tomorrow, Biadasz. Probably did not practice tomorrow. Will be his listing. But the other guy that didn't practice, even though we saw him out there, was Zachary Martin. Zach Martin was out there, guys. And according to multiple sources, quote, from the Cowboys, quote, I think he will play when this anonymous person was asked inside the Cowboy organization about Zach Martin playing with that knee getting, with that ankle getting rolled or whatever. A source says that he will play. Actually, a source is Zach Martin too. The other day he said, I'm going to play. And according to other sources we talked about today, as long as he practices on Saturday, he will play. So even though he didn't practice, sounds like it's like a combination of, he's got a rolled up ankle, but it's also a vet rest day as he rehabs back to full strength for the game against the Cardinals on Sunday. And of course that means he'll have to practice on Saturday, which I'm guessing he will. Now, I know we have a couple more things to discuss here. I want to make sure that I give you a chance to kind of hit in the chat there and any kind of thoughts on these injuries, updates and all.
I don't think we're that desperate just yet, but he said Cowboys cut center Alec Lindstrom. Where is he now? Can we re-sign him?
Yeah, the Cowboys are not going to. They cut him for a reason, guys. So, Jason, the Cowboys would have kept Lindstrom and not kept, a guy like Brock Hoffman. That would have been the difference, right? Lindstrom is not good enough. Lindstrom's not going to make it.
So, Let me see. Austin Taylor said score predictions for the Cardinals. It's a little bit early for that one, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot. We should still beat them by a lot, but we'll talk about that usually Friday, Saturday style.
A 40 burger is always nice. So I don't know about prediction, but that's always nice, right? So, and again, Dallas J, we kind of already touched on the O-line injury situation again. Not ideal,
we just went over that whole thing literally right now with all three of our starters plus a backup injured.
So, anyway, back to you, baby.
All right, so let's flip over to Trayvon. Again, Trayvon Diggs being injured. Let's flip on the defensive side here. But, we're going to be able to relax and maybe get some good news here. When you want to look at Mr. Micah Parsons from last year, you can look at Micah Parsons from this year here, what he did against the Giants. But we'll let it run either way. There's Micah getting a sack. Let's look at his pass rush right now for Micah Parsons. Jets offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. So we just played them. This is the OC. Says that the team knew the Cowboys pass rusher would be a problem, but they hoped. Here was the game plan. Outside of running, the quick game, the quick passing game, was what they're going to try to do to neutralize the Cowboys pass rush. And Hackett said, quote, "We underestimated his speed on the quick game. He is spectacular." Guys, what can an opposing defense do? Even, with the quick passing game, I'm not saying not the defense, but what can opposing offenses do when even the quick passing game for the offense does not beat this Micah Parsons pass rush? If you look at the game against the Jets, Micah Parsons, you break down each of the Cowboy pass rushers against the Jets this game, how quickly Micah created pressure on each play. The time to pressure, 2.0 seconds on average. And that's just Micah. You had the quarterback pressure possibility at the snap. It was already at 35.4%. 35.4% was our defensive, it was Micah's probability to get pressure in this game against the Jets. The average probability, 74.8%. I mean, 75% of the time, Micah's getting pressure on your ass, at least against the Jets. And the pressure rate over the expected, almost 40% more than expected for Micah Parsons. Incredible, guys. And again, he did great, obviously, but he was close to like 100% by the end of the game as far as the pressure he was bringing, while guys like Neville Gallimore was like second on getting pressure. Dorrance Armstrong a lot lower in third, and Mozzie Smith at the bottom of this thing in fourth. But again, the Cowboys really used Micah with Dan Quinn against this Jets team. We're going to have to do the same thing week after week after week if we want to protect the Trayvon Diggs hole we got right now on our team. So when you look at Micah Parsons against the Giants here, he not just gets sacks, but he also created pressure for everyone else. But when you look at Micah Parsons, he led the NFL in pass rush win rate in his rookie year in 2021. He also led the league in the same stat in 2022. And currently in 2023, he's in first place once again. No pass rusher has generated more pressures than Micah Parsons since the start of the 2022 season last year. He has 103 pressures since 2022. And when you look at the new pressure model that Next Gen Stats has come up with, 103 pressures from Micah Parsons. Next in line since the last year and a half, 93. 10 back is Nick Bosa. Myles Garrett at 86, Max Crosby at 84, and Hassan Reddick at 83. Micah Parsons has 59 pressures in his last 8 games when you include the playoffs. No other player is within 10 pressures of Micah in that time span, the last 8 games. Also, Micah Parsons has recorded 2 or more sacks in 28.6% of his career games. Guys, Micah Parsons gets you a 2-sack game. I mean, almost a third of the time. Every third game. That's crazy. That's the highest of any player in NFL history. You heard me right. In history, the closest human, to Micah Parsons is Reggie White with 21.6%. Incredible. I mean, Micah's got 7% more on him. Micah Parsons on pace to be one of the greatest defenders of all time. No joke there, guys. No joke there. So when you look at the odds to win Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons at the top of the list, guys. 175 to 1 odds. The next person is TJ Watt, 500 to 1 odds. That's a lot of space there between Micah and TJ Watt. Myles Garrett, 1,200 to 1 odds. Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, Hutchinson, Crosby. Who cares? Micah is far and above every defensive player, even with the stats, even with the sacks from, you see from Nick Bosa tonight. And even with all that, Micah is the number one guy, and people are noticing he's doing more than just getting numbers, getting sacks, getting pressures. He's causing out his own teammates to do the same. And, people always say, if you lose this quarterback, usually you lose a quarterback, your season is pretty much done. But this is the first time I'm hearing in a long, long time that you lose a defensive player like Micah Parsons, your season could be done. So we can never, knock on wood, never lose him. Now, what about MVP? That's why he's an MVP discussion right now, Micah Parsons. Here's the list of this, the MVP list, baby. In first place, Tua in first, Mahomes second, Josh Allen third, Jalen Hurts fourth, Lamar Jackson fifth. Down the list here, Trevor Lawrence, then Dak Prescott in seventh here at 1,500 to 1 odds. Justin Herbert 8th, Joe Burrow 9th, Purdy 10th, Deshaun Watson 11th, and then I just named you 10 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson had a horrible game yesterday, but he's still a quarterback, so he gets up on that. He gets higher up on the list there. Micah Parsons 3,500 to 1 odds, but the only defensive player on the MVP board right now as far as odds to win it. So something very almost impossible to do. Lawrence Taylor was the last one to do it, and Micah is really as close, maybe better than we've ever seen from, the closest for sure since LT. Let's put it that way. And you see our entire defensive line. I mean, I'm going to show you this Giants game one last time here to show you what I mean. But Micah gets the sack here, triple team basically. But the rest of the defensive line also is what makes the Cowboy defensive great. That's why Micah's the most valuable player. But you got Osa Odigizua, one of the best get-offs and hump moves in the entire NFL, number 97. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, his artistry, his technique, his ability to stop the edge, set the edge, but also, obviously, we've seen him. He has more pressure, I think, than Micah Parsons, I think, in the PFF model. You got Jonathan Hankins, not a pass rusher, but Jonathan Hankins is a beast versus the run, and that is extremely important for everyone else in the pass defense to get up on, do their jobs even better when the offense can't run the ball. Well, that's Jonathan Hankins. So that's the keys there that makes this thing go. And again, that's what really helps the secondary if you lose Trayvon Diggs. So anytime Dallas can create one-on-one matchups with Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Osa Odigizua. For example, in this game against an Arizona left guard named Elijah Wilkinson and their center, Hajlit Forholt. This is their starting interior now for the Cardinals this week. They're going to be in trouble. Major freaking trouble. I expect to see Dan Quinn take full advantage and have another dominant defensive performance by the front here, by the pressure, and it's going to help our corners, our safeties, in coverage as well. So, now, that's the defensive kind of breakdown, baby. I wanted to end with that on the defensive side because we're going to be talking offense as far as Cowboys and the Cardinals defense.
Okay.
So, before I even go any farther, and Mike is just doing his thing.
Yes.
I want to know, what did Dak Prescott say today when it came to, his he was discussing things, and again, we talked about what he said about Trayvon Diggs at the end of practice. We already talked about that side of things, but what about with the fact that he's got his 100th start now, and, I don't think he's happy with what he's achieved right now at this point. So,
yeah,
baby, what did our quarterback here, again, going against this Cardinal defense, we're going to discuss this defense in a minute, what did Dak Prescott say?
It's a blessing, it really is. I grew up wanting to play this game at its highest level, and that's simply what this league is. To think back and see that I've had 99 at-bats and this would be the 100, it's pretty cool. Being the physical game that it is, knowing how hard it is to play and stay in this league, yeah, it's something special. With my first start, it was a loss, unfortunately. But I think I started out pretty fast out of the gates. Being able to get the ball to some guys. I remember Beasley having a day. It was fun at AT&T Stadium. But to be on 100 and be on the ground, hopefully 100 more to go. So, yes, Dak Prescott obviously started things off quite a bit differently here, his career in Dallas. But I can imagine him feeling a little bit like, damn, again.
It's a long time. And it's crazy. He would have had his 100th game a year sooner if it wasn't for that snapped ankle, right? So, to 8 years to 100, this is the time frame where, like, the Tony Romos, they got to see the game differently. Dak, with the footwork and timing, is so much better with the receivers. Thank you, Mike McCarthy, for making that happen. And you're seeing Dak maybe turning the corner on some of the ways to kind of take it to the next level, and the way you were able to see the game and see it from a quarterback's perspective and kind of see things open up differently. So we'll see if that continues for Dak. He's doing good so far. What else did he say, baby? Because again, they asked him, does his body of work when it comes to all the games he's played, the 99, I'm not his body of work, but if his body itself is his
body of work is his body, I guess.
I guess so. But again, he's in pain now. He's 30 years old, right?
I know.
So is he the body of work and his body? How does he feel about this situation going forward with his 100th game?
So he said,
Yeah.
He said, certain days, hell yeah. Certain days it feels like a lot more than 100, but mentally and some days physically, not at all. I do feel young, as I've knocked on wood and said I'm feeling healthy and being healthy, and I'm thankful for that. I put a lot of work into that, so to be where I am, as I've said, let's hope for another 100. But I haven't achieved what I want. The ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. Any personal goal is not anything I've really set out to go and get. Those things just come when you take care of what you're supposed to take care of, and to be the player you're supposed to be. I'm not quite to where I want to be at all. Hopefully it doesn't take 100 more starts. I've got some more at-bats this year, and we're going at it full steam.
That's what I like to hear. Dak, did as much as he could out of that Kellen Moore. Did as much as he could for that Kellen Moore, offense, I guess. But that's kind of worn out. Now you have McCarthy's balancing this team on offense, right, and balancing Dak Prescott much better. So I personally love to see it.
So, and by the way, you know what else we love to see?
What's up?
Someone's ringing that bell here on the Cash App side.
Ding-a-ling.
We have another $10 holler.
Woo! Snug X.
You know why he's here.
You know why he's here. What did he have to say, baby?
Go Cowboys.
Much love, Mr. Snug. Go Cowboys. You know the deal. Hey, Snug's giving the love here, and he's moving up the board as we speak right now. Man, I think he's right behind. He's right in front of Jason Renfro. Snug X with the big jumps, and currently in first place on the Cash App board as well. So appreciate you, Snug. Always repping that star for everything. We know why he's here chilling with us. Appreciate you, Snug X, as always. So, baby, again, you were going to... We already finished with Dak, I guess?
That was it from Dak.
Dak broke it down for us there. I'll fix the board here for the overall leaderboard here. I just want to say, Dak, the goal for him is one and one only, Super Bowl. That's it, and that's what it should be.
By the way, I want to shout out the man Simon Says, much love.
Yeah.
He said, personal opinion, it's way too early. The focus should be on Arizona. And again, up until about the Trayvon injury, the good thing is our Cowboys were definitely focused in on Arizona and not kind of looking beyond that, right? I like the focus that this team has, and hopefully the Trayvon injury doesn't disrupt it too much.
Listen, here's the thing, a couple of things. First, in Dak Prescott, much love to Simus, by the way. Sub it up to Simus Says right now if you haven't done it. But Dak Prescott, he's always had the focus on the Super Bowl. As the team leader, as the offensive captain, whatever you want to call it, he will be... That's what he has to say. That's what he has to do. That's what he has to look at. But yes, the Cardinals are next. And we're going to talk about the defense of the Cardinals. Trust me, ain't much to talk about. But you can't overlook anyone. The key here, I think, and I'm going to give my little 2 cents on this. Tell me what you think. I hope Simon's still in the house. He can let us know what he thinks. But when it comes to the Trayvon Diggs injury, and I don't love this being this way, but I think the Cowboys are refocused for Trayvon Diggs. And that's kind of, I don't want to say, obviously this is the fucking second worst thing that could have happened to our defense. I'm not going to say that the worst thing could have been, but but my point is Trayvon Diggs, the fact that it's kind of opened the Cowboys' eyes, this shit can go away at any fucking second. For the offense, the defense, for the kicker, for the fact that this can slip away at any second, you got to readjust your view. And yes, it's not just about the Super Bowl, playoffs. This is about each game and every game. So I agree with Simus. I believe the players are refocused, Simus. I want to know what Simus says. But I believe the Cowboys are kind of a little more refocused for Trayvon Diggs and trying to show, hey, listen, we can do this and play and play up. And I know they can. It's, of course, better and better players on offense when we play these teams, certain teams. It might give us a little more of a headache than without Trayvon Diggs. DaRon Bland had great numbers, second best coverage guy in the NFL right now, DaRon Bland. But we're missing the best guy in the NFL, which is where it hurts, right? So I think we're going to be fine against most teams. We're not going to see much of a blink there. But the thing that's key here is that the team stays focused. Super Bowl is the goal. That's what keeps us driving. But it's the weekly grind, which is what matters. That's how you get to the Super Bowl. So the Cowboys, if they were fucking around, if they were looking over here, looking over there, guess what they did? Guess what you just did now? They went, zoop, Cardinal time. Let's beat their asses. Let's pluck those fucking birds. And that's it. Again, it sucks that this is what it had to take, if it even needed to be done, right? But this is one of those silver linings. I hate to even say that, but there's no silver lining here. But DaRon Bland's going to fit perfectly into this defense. He already done it from the outside last year.
It's never the real silver lining is the overall depth we have. Obviously, Bland plays into that in a big way. But the only quote-unquote good thing you could maybe say about any kind of situation where you have someone who steps down is that somebody has to step up. Yeah. That is it. So whatever the context, however it goes, this is an opportunity for that person to show what they've got.
Do you know what DaRon Bland did last year? When Jordan Lewis went down, DaRon Bland stepped the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And that, my friends, is what gets you to the Super Bowl eventually. So let's see if we can do it again. I know DaRon Bland's going to step up. And you know Jordan Lewis is going to step up at the slot position. He's a top 10 slot cover, nickel cornerback before he got hurt. So it's a step back, but it's not as big of a step back, I think, than people think. And yes, we're losing a top-level cornerback coverage guy, but we got DaRon Bland, Jordan Lewis, and the best defensive pass rush in the NFL, which is what helps every cornerback. I don't care how good or bad they are. It helps every single one of them when you have that pass rush coming play after play after play, relentless attacking, yes, hunting. Mark Hovsepian in the house. Open the doors. He just jumped into first place on the overall board, and Jason Renfro dropped to that $20 Tony Pollard holler. What did Mark Hovsepian say with that Cooper Rush drop?
I can't take the BS. I'm sure Dak wants a Super Bowl, but let's be honest. His number one focus is his pay. His contract he signed did not help us in the least, and that's fine. Mind you, just say it instead of all this la-di-da.
Again, Mark, I think that in the season, Dak's not thinking, how much can I stack this week? I don't think so. You could think that, Mark. I don't think so. But I do think that when it comes to football, Dak he's pushing, he's focused on the Super Bowl. I think when it comes to the offseason and business, he's focused on business. Isn't that how you would do it, Mark? I'm just saying, it's not BS. It's the way it goes. That's life. That's an NFL business life. You got NFL goals, you got business goals. And they intertwine, but when it's time to play, it's time to play. Now, if Dak's been lying all these years, then you got me, Mark. But I don't believe that. Mark, I think Dak, he's always said the Super Bowl is, every player should say that, and that's not anything new. But Dak focusing on the Super Bowl, to me, is the end game goal. But you got to know what it takes to get there. And the Cowboys have suffered through some steps going forward the last 2 years, steps up. I don't like the step stopped after one win. After no wins in the first year, and then in the playoffs and the wild card, and then the win in the divisional round. The win in the wild card to lose in the divisional round. So we got to take that next step up this year. I want to take it to the Super Bowl. So we got to see. But listen, guys, why does it bother you guys so much what Dak says? Who cares? Like, Dak's going to say what he's got to say as the Dallas Cowboy quarterback. When he says that, it's just him doubling down on that's the goal for the team, and just reiterating for all the fans, whoever cares, right? But we know that, look, business is business, and that's a whole different topic, all right? When it's about football, it's about winning, it's about Super Bowls. I think he didn't do anything wrong, and, I disagree with those that are hating on him. I think that the truth about this team, the injury to Trayvon Diggs is to refocus this team. Unfortunately, I don't even think they needed to be refocused. But whatever it is, they're doubling down on that focus, in my opinion, week by week by week. Hopefully climbing to that 6. Now, I would like to know Mark's opinion on Trayvon Diggs when he gets a chance. So let me know if you get a chance there, Mark. Let me know how Trayvon Diggs.
I'll make sure to shout it out when I
that's the big news of the day. Not Dak's comment about wanting to win a Super Bowl. Talking about his 100th game, So he's not finished. He wants more. He wants a Super Bowl. Nothing wrong with that, guys. Come on, don't get triggered off of that. So look, in the end, any other comments here on Dak? I shouldn't have asked that. If I say ask comments on Dak, everyone's going to start, either saying I love him overboard or I hate him overboard. I'm just like, let's just let him work in this McCarthy offense.
Said they're about to come even harder. Pause.
No comment, man. Hey, sometimes it just comes out wrong.
You said it, not me. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right, Marshawn.
Oh, so honestly, has there ever been better, more quotable line said by a player
that
also holds up so well, because I use that in my everyday life. I'm sorry.
It's
like I plead the fifth.
I always joke with the. I know you know this one. Was it Jim Mora from the Colts? He said playoffs. That's the one that lives on for my brain forever, because you got to see it in context. It was great. I was there for it. I was there remembering it live on TV. So anyways, baby, as we get back to business, any last comments, or we're moving on to the rest of the offense, because we got to talk about this Cardinal defense now.
So, and I know we touched on this earlier, but Drums and Cowboys does bring up a good point. I will say this: Dak, more than ever, has to concentrate on ball control offense and keep from turning over the ball. So that complimentary football just leveled up a whole notch, because now it is even more necessary than it was before. And again, that's why I said that at least the secondary benefits from that D-line, right? So
Dak needs that offensive line. But I think the Mike McCarthy is the one that's getting the missed praise here. I think I'm not praising Dak as much as maybe the Dak lovers do. I'm praising Dak because he's doing a good job in Mike McCarthy's scheme and system. That's the key. Mike McCarthy is the guy that really should get the praise here, in the sense, more of the praise, because what he's doing is managing Dak Prescott the right way, and Dak is doing a great job of following suit in that way. So to me, this is a great job by both guys, but Mike McCarthy's leading this change, and it's a winning change for the offense and a winning change for the team, even with the Trayvon Diggs news from today. So anyways, let me not ask again, because I know we'll have a lot more comments. But let's switch it over to CeeDee Lamb. I know he spoke today, but baby, before he broke down anything, I want to break down something very interesting about Mr. CeeDee Lamb when it comes to separation. Separation, I guess not really yardage, but separation, for the catch there. The Cowboys, first and foremost, on offense, we've run 69% of our plays. Almost 70% of our plays have been run on the opponent's territory this year. That's a lot. Whether it's a kickoff return, I don't know if we had that, an interception, a turnover, a turnover on downs. We're getting the ball on the opponent territory 69% of the time. That's a lot, guys. That's the best mark in the NFL through the first 2 weeks of this season. And CeeDee Lamb is, again, to me, gets us in that, will get us in that opponent's territory, hopefully in the end zone. He hasn't had a touchdown yet. But CeeDee Lamb, guys, he's gaining right now 3.52 yards of separation, at least against the Jets he did. So, again, and I think he was one of the top receivers, obviously, to do this. But getting over 3.5 yards of separation shows me CeeDee Lamb's route running ability, schemed into Mike McCarthy's system, is top fucking notch, baby. And so, again, and I bring this back to Kellen Moore for a second. Because if I'm saying CeeDee Lamb's getting schemed, it's not Dak Prescott running at X's and O's in the fucking dirt. It's Mike McCarthy scheming. Mike McCarthy's purposely scheming this guy, CeeDee Lamb, in as a target. Do you guys remember we had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and who was the other guy? Michael Gallup. Do you remember we had them? You remember how Kellen Moore didn't scheme shit for any specific player? He did it once for like a quarter with Amari Cooper, and we dominated. I don't understand. So Mike McCarthy's like, I'm going to... People are mad at Michael Gallup, but I'm saying Mike McCarthy said, let me scheme CeeDee Lamb, get him away from Sauce Gardner, and let's just tear him up that way. Dak Prescott said, I didn't have to challenge Sauce. I didn't have to challenge you, Sauce. Why? Because Mike McCarthy is placing the best pieces against best matchups against the defense, and that is another key of our winning. You could say it's Dak, you could say it's CeeDee Lamb, it's all of these guys, but it's Mike McCarthy implementing this scheme and system. You got to give him credit, guys. CeeDee Lamb's getting a lot of separation. Right now, though, Michael Gallup's not getting much separation at all. I'd like to see that get better. Michael Gallup's it's not just the coach scheming him. Michael Gallup's got to get better at doing what he's got to do here, or else, we're going to start questioning something. So we'll see how that goes. I believe we still can get Galluping, doing his thing. You just got to take it game by game and then scheme these guys, into who you want to be your star guy is the guy you scheme into. McCarthy seems to be doing a good job to get the right guys open for the offense and for Dak Prescott. So obviously that's a good thing in my opinion. Now, CeeDee Lamb spoke today.
Yeah.
A couple of things I think he said. We might have to touch on the rest of the stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, and guys, I'm sorry if we can't get to every single comment in the chat. If that does upset or bother you, then I'm sorry. We have way too much stuff to talk about here. Yeah, I mean, guys, again, we do our best. We do our best, but we got to do our thing on this side. We can't answer every question. We'll be answering the same things for hours and hours and hours on end. Again, a reminder, you don't have to do anything on this.
don't have to even hit the like if you don't want to. But if you want to have your comment read or thought about or discussed, I'm sorry to say this, you gotta drop a little love. That's the way it goes here on MCF, and some people don't like it, some people do. That's the way it goes. And sometimes we do catch your comments when we're skimming through them, guys, but sometimes you get skipped, and you want us to notice it when we got 2 hours of discussions here. Then you have to alert us, and that's the way you alert us. It's gonna be real, guys, just being real. Now, CeeDee Lamb spoke today, and again, we don't have a bombardment of CeeDee Lamb stuff, but he just had a couple interesting quotes, especially regarding separation. I thought so. I thought he was getting separation from, I think he realized that he was getting some separation from, against defenders. But anyways, maybe I'll let you say it. I know you have a couple things from me.
When I say a couple things, we really just have the two little sentences just because, again, there was not too many CeeDee Lamb updates because it happened right as the
Trayvon Diggs news came out. Everyone's dropped their pens and said, what's going on Trayvon Diggs?
Exactly. So, but CeeDee Lamb said, lots of teams are 2-0. But separation comes in week 5.
Told you he was talking about separation.
Yeah, a different type of separation, though. And again, we're all looking at that 49ers game as, the moment where we can kind of hopefully surpass the current expectations put upon us. I think you can
That's the real test for guys. Again, I think we need a real test like that. But, these are the teams that the Mark Hovsepians and others out there are saying, let's see how good we really do against this team. Not just against a good defense or an NFC East rival that was supposed to be better this year and it maybe isn't. Let's look at, of course, the next 2 weeks should be wins. So the Niners are the real test, and the separation does begin there. Although, like I said, CeeDee Lamb's getting 3.5 yards plus of separation versus his coverage. I love that in this Mike McCarthy, offensive scheme with Dak Prescott connected with CeeDee Lamb. He's connected with this guy. So
CeeDee Lamb gave some praise to Mike McCarthy, saying Mike's doing a great job of getting me open.
Boom.
So
I just literally, I did not even know this.
Yeah, and if you see him when he's saying it too, he's got again,
shit-eating grin,
a big cheesy grin on his face. So obviously, he's very happy this has happened so far.
Yeah.
Let's just hopefully get him a few touchdowns sprinkled in there amongst those great statistics. So
we'll break it all down here because we're not stopping, guys. We got some special teams for you, baby. I know this is your cup of tea, so to speak, right? You love the special teams, the kicking, but we're talking about here starting off with a guy who spoke a couple days ago, John Fossil, who kind of broke down some of the background of how we ended up getting our kicker right now, who's missed only one extra point. Made the
Called it a stealth operation.
Yeah, stealth operation from Bones. Go ahead, baby. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. Explain what happened.
Yeah, so basically, the Birmingham Stallions of the USFL were playing the Houston Gamblers. So Bones basically hit up Will McClay and said, yo, I got to sneak into that game because I want to see Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey plays for the Birmingham Stallions. Remember that.
So,
he was in Houston, which is, of course, in Texas, so he drove down.
Not really sure how Fossil came to know of him, but he's just like, hey, I like this guy. I want to go check him out. Added in there. He has great talent, obviously. It doesn't take a big swing to hit the ball very far. What I love about him is he's just kind of a natural swinger. He hasn't been overcoached because he hasn't been a kicker that long, which I think is a huge positive in that. And I respect that, too. He just goes out there and kicks it. So basically, there's no bad habits to unteach, no nothing, just a naturally talented kicker who needs a little bit of pushing in the right direction. That's all.
Well, Bones is there to do it, to do the pushing.
So Fossil said, I might have snuck down to the field and got a closer feel for the sound of it, the look of it. It was a great learning curve for him, and even for me, and, even for the punter, our punter Brian Anger, right? He said just the timing of all the stuff, not only the operation, but the pace of when to start getting set up. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. We had 2 of them, and the very next, Pat was another sudden change after the Deron Bland interception. We had a chance to talk about it after the first one, about the timing, when to get yourself lined up. It was actually a really cool moment to learn from. I'm stopping the quote right there just because I did want to highlight, remember, Brandon Aubrey commented on that, right? After week 1, he said, damn, I got really lucky because the 2 mistakes that I made, I got to the exact next play. I had an almost identical scenario, and I got to go back there and make the adjustments I wanted to make, and then it was successful. So it's hey, it was an instant feedback for him. He said that it was very helpful, and that basically, it boosted his confidence a lot because it let him know, hey, I can make these adjustments. I can do what I'm supposed to do here. So Bones also added in there. Unfortunately, it did cost us a Pat However,
PAT, right?
PAT,
Yes,
sorry,
yeah.
I call it Pat. Okay. But however, we said in the special teams meeting, the best thing that happened after was that he missed the extra point, got it out of the way, came back, hit 4 straight extra points, 2 field goals, 8 touchbacks on kickoff. So he's a weapon.
And he, again, after that game, guess what else he did? He knocked in another extra point and 5 field goals. Brandon Aubrey, that first mistake really taught him, and an extra point taught us how to collect the rest of the points up there. And so far, so good. 7 field goals in a row, and also a big so far, so good to the man with the plan to take over. Snug X, 100 points on the stream boss, the $20 Tony Pollard holler, first place on the overall board, first place in the Cash App, 6 weeks in a row in the Cash App. This is a dominating performance, kind of like our defense. Much love to Snug X. What did he say with that $20 Tony Pollard holla?
He said it a love and a classic. Go Cowboys. Thank you, Snug. Appreciate you, of course.
Yes.
By the way, he did officially take over that stream boss with that Tony Pollard representation. He
took over. This is called what it is. The Snug X took over like our Cowboy defense. Much love, Snug. We know why you're here, repping that navy blue, silver, and star over everything.
And seriously, to everybody here chilling, hanging with us, thank you for taking time out of your day, your night, your whatever you're doing to come chill with us, talk with us, hang with us, and chit-chat discussing our Dallas Cowboys.
Drums and Cowboys, Mary Alvarez, Snug, Chocolate Montana, Asmodeus. I know Cam had an issue. Sorry, man. It happens. I don't know who cut him off. I don't know who could cut off somebody in the chat, but either way, we love Bland too. How's that? Anyway.
By the way, Montana's saying that, he feels like San Francisco's a fool's gold, not a real test. Yeah. I'm going to say the
what
same
else?
thing.
What other tests do we have?
I was just about to say, I'm going to say the same thing I said to Mark when we were talking about, the Jets aren't a good team or whatever.
On defense, yeah.
If that's the case, then there's literally only like one good team in the NFL. Apparently we're only going to face shitty teams. So all that means is I don't care if we're facing the number 1 team or the 32nd team. We have to beat the team in front of us
as bad as we can.
Get to the playoffs. And once we're there, we just have to win out. Because honestly, all the other in-between stuff is almost irrelevant because we've faced really crappy, shitty teams before, and then we still lost to them for the dumbest reasons.
And we played crappy teams and played poorly and snuck out with a win with the Kellen Moore offense. And
Montana said it. The test is the Dallas Cowboys.
That's the way I look at it.
The only thing that can beat us is us. And even now, we're not even getting hurt in games, guys. We're beating ourselves. We're hurting ourselves in practice.
Killer.
Not even in physical situations either, which is the
one-on-one
craziest part. Just
freaking drills.
Just existing as Cowboys.
Listen, I do think, again, very good point there from Chuck the Montana, because I've been saying this, we are the ones that can hurt ourselves. And the Niners got to look at us as their test. You guys feel me on this? They're saying it the other way out there.
Yeah.
This is the Niners test for about, we're the ones that are going to be the one they want to see if they're going to test their squad against. Don't let them fool you out there, guys. So, yes, much love to Chuck the Montana.
I think both teams have a bit of skin in that game.
Of course.
For slightly different reasons.
Of course. But I do think that, of course, listen, I'm saying it the way I feel. The way it looks on paper is they beat us twice already in the playoffs. This shit got to come to a head. Now, again, I don't think that defines our season as well. But I'm more to say, like Chuck the Montana, a lot of you guys have said, that I don't care if we beat the Niners 60-0. Stop, everybody in the world, stop moving the goddamn goalpost. There's got to be a team that we got to say, okay, we showed how we played. Because to me, we showed some things about the way we played against the Giants. I saw a lot of good things the way we played. Our offense played against the Jets' defense. Sorry if some people don't think it's the best, but hey, we have the best defense, so every defense we face is going to be lesser than ours. In the end, I think that we have to take every game as some kind of test. I don't know if there's any test for the Cardinals game, but for us, we tested some of our stuff, our defensive prowess against the NFC East Giants. They got a good test. We tested our offense against the Jets, top 5, top 10 defense in the NFL. Boom. I mean, we dominated them when you look at the numbers inside the numbers. Things that Josh Allen teams and Tua's teams cannot do, and Mahomes teams cannot do to the Jets. That says something to me about our offense and the Giants. So again, all of this stuff, it just keeps piling on, and we see new and different things in these tests that we face on teams every single week. As long as we keep dominating them, guess what? We'll be okay.
So, no, that's okay. I mean, that's it on my side.
Oh, did you already? Okay, you did talk about...
Actually, let me double check. No, I think I did say everything.
You talked about the last extra point that it was missed.
He said he's a weapon. Okay, yeah, no, there was a little bit more. Right. Sorry, we did get a little sidetracked there, but Bones added in there. It's exciting to know he can also hit those 16 touchbacks in 2 weeks just to preserve some of our core bodies, some collisions. There's part of that, too, that's a benefit. We've still got a long way to go. If he was 4 for 7 instead of 7 for 7, I'd still say, hey, we got a young kicker. We've got to keep tightening some things up. So at least he's being honest about, it's not like he'd be giving him the boot either necessarily if he wasn't 100%. But even McCarthy said the secret weapon just finally let itself out of the bag. He's earned every one of these opportunities. I just think we had a late start working together, but when you watch him, I think you can see clearly why we made the decision when we did. He's a very, very talented young kicker, and I'm glad we have him. Aubrey threw out there, everyone has their own unique story. For me, the reason why I'm doing this is kind of like a redemption story for the soccer arc and just for my family as well. I'm going to take that NFL kicking paycheck. Like, does that even need to be said? How much do amateur soccer players or something get paid? I don't know, but I can't imagine it's anything even close to what a starting kicker is getting, even if it's the lowest contract in the league. But also, I don't...
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty low, but I mean, the point is that, by the way, I'm sorry, I deleted a wrong comment there, so I apologize to Drums and Cowboys. But, and I'll read it for him.
I think you can read it.
Yeah, he said, MCF, when we win, haters say the opponent sucks. When the Eagles and Niners struggle, there's always a BS explanation.
And that's the thing that gets me, especially watching some of these, honestly, really supposed to be dominant AFC teams, like the Chargers, like the Bengals. I mean, man... Everyone and their mom is trotting out all these excuses. And I'm not even denying that at least the Chiefs have earned a little bit of leeway there, and Patrick Mahomes specifically, because of, obviously, their current hardware, Super Bowl, recent successes and stuff. But the NFL does not care what you did last week. The NFL cares what you're doing right now. And right now, the Chiefs are not looking so hot for a variety of reasons. And the Bengals are also not looking so hot for a variety of reasons.
They're looking dirty ugly. So, yeah, it comes as it goes here. You got to... Every season is new, and you got to put it all together. You got to overcome injuries, hint, to really truly win things. The only team I remember overcoming a quarterback injury and winning it are the New York Giants when they lost Phil Simms, and I think Hostetler somehow guided them for the Super Bowl with Bill Parcells as the coach. That's how important coaches can be sometimes. So,
and honestly, the 49ers are another great example of that. They lost their starting quarterback, somehow made it all the way to the NFC Championship game, and didn't necessarily lose because of him, right? They lost because he got hurt, but until then, he was playing great.
Well, he was playing okay, but the thing was that he is a very effective quarterback when it comes to efficiency, like Dak Prescott has become a little bit. So you're seeing Brock Purdy, when he was out, it wasn't that he hurt the Niners, he hurt them by being knocked out, because that hurts the whole offense to slow down.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That,
like Pollard, the way he knocked out of our game. And really slowed us down against the San Francisco defense.
So again, only so much you can come back from losing your quarterback. Twice in a row. And
you did say Aubrey's comment there to kind of close it out there.
Yes,
so again,
he has his special story.
Yeah, I wanted to go and discuss some Arizona Cardinals stuff here. We talked about our special teams. I'm going to touch on the Cardinals special teams, but I wanted to touch on their injury list. And I wanted to first start off when we talk about their offense, guys, and I'm going to put this in more full effect, but if you guys know their quarterback, we talked about it yesterday, their offense, Josh Dobbs. Listen to this. He's had alopecia since he was 10. So, again, he was talking with Ellie, who's also a Cardinals cheerleader who has alopecia. And there was a good little thing back and forth with them. Alopecia, in case you didn't know, is a disease that attacks hair follicles and causes hair loss. So, again, you see, he kind of looks...
Yeah, there's different types of alopecia. There's some people who lose, obviously, all of their hair. There's just some people who lose... parts of it in certain spots and things like that. So obviously
he lost her hair, and he of course has no hair as well.
Yeah.
So not sure if it's because of alopecia, but he shaves his head.
Well, he shaves his head probably partially because of that, because it does not. It's not like it grows in all at once. He probably has either patches or spots or things like that where he just doesn't have hair.
Yeah, so he just shaves it off to kind of make it all
look
level.
Like a weird lawn.
Yeah. So there you go. That's again not injured. Again, that's going to be our quarterback we face, number 9, Josh Dobbs. Now when you look at the injury list. Their offensive lineman's coming back, and it's their starter. It's probably their best guy, Kelvin Beachum, had a hand injury, full practice both days now. You had Lakey Fotu on their defense. We're going to talk about their defense. He's banged up with the shoulder, limited 2 days in a row. I expect him to probably play this game. And then Carlos Watkins with that torn bicep, guys, he's going to be out for at least 4 weeks. Didn't practice. Neither did Josh Woods, linebacker, also has an ankle injury. Probably won't play either. Now, special teams real quick, Matt Prater. The Cardinals kicker. We all know Matt Prater. I know UCF, but Matt Prater from the different teams, the Denver Broncos, the Lions. But now he's at the Cardinals for the last couple of years. And last week he missed a long field goal attempt. Generally, Prater is not a bad kicker, and he's again got a huge resume So, again, I think that he is a solid kicker. He'll hit them all against us. When it comes to return yards, punting. Nolan Cooney is their punter for the Cardinals. He's averaging 47 yards per punt. His longest punt is 56 yards, the exact same as Brian Anger. And when it comes to returns, Greg Dortch, small kind of guy there returning punts. But again, we know Turpin, our returner, has a higher return average this year than last year, so that's fantastic. Last year, Dortch had 6.6 yards per return, which ranked second worst among starting punt returners. So just wanted to go through that real quick. We got the injury situation set up. The Cardinals, we know Budda Baker's out. We know they're going to have another guy I'm talking about here on their defense that is out and not going to play this game. So, as we turn into the Cardinals, we talked about our offense in a little heavier tonight. Last night we talked about the Cardinals, their offense. Tonight we talked about our offense. We're going to talk about their defense tonight. You've seen some major players here. Got to keep an eye on. But none of them are really that scary. Maybe number 45. Maybe that Cardinal you see on the background screen there with the retard. Anyways, this matchup with our offense versus their defense, the Cardinals' defensive line. Let's start with that. They've been hit by the injury bug. Carlos Watkins, formerly a Cowboy, left the game last week with an arm injury, going on IR. The other defensive tackle, I just talked about him, Leki Fotu. Also, right now struggling with that shoulder injury. Questions starting this week for him. And then L.J. Collier, who's been missing since week 1 with a bicep injury. He's still out. Man, these are big losses for the Cardinals. The interior is soft as can be. We're going to cut right through that shit inside. So keep that in mind. Again, we got Biadasz. We got to see if he's going to play. He should be questionable, Biadasz. We'll see what happens. But that leaves the Cardinals with Jonathan Ledbetter, Kevin Strong, and rookie Dante Stills to hold it down inside. They are in fucking trouble when it comes to the defensive interior of the Cardinals. And it's safe to say, of course, our offensive line, even if we're not even 100% healthy, will probably be able to beat their level of competition interior for the Cardinals' defensive tackles. Now, the bigger threat is the outside. And number 45, little Pat Tillman look to him there with that long hair. He's the biggest threat on the defense when it comes to pass rush and the defensive line. His name is Dennis Gardeck. He's the guy you got to watch in this battle, and I'm going to talk more about him in a minute. But they also have Victor Demukije. And both these guys in 2 games have combined for 5 sacks. So they're getting back there. Remember, they have the second most sacks in the NFL. I think they're 21st in getting pressure, though. Pretty bad there. So the guy I'm looking at, the other guy on the defensive front, number 25. This is going to be easy. Oh, the 5s. 45, Gardeck. 25, Zaven Collins. He started off slow, but again, last week he had a sack. He's getting started is the thought here. And the Cardinals' defensive line, is allowing 109 rushing yards per game. The Cowboys are averaging 128 yards per game. We should be able to hit that 130 mark and beyond running the ball this game. It should be a lot of inside handoffs, some zone run, pulling our guards and centers. This stuff here, guys, we're going to be dealing with these. Again, running on this team is going to be a lot easier than we've had this year. Running on this defensive line. When it comes to pass rush, 25 and 45 the guys to watch. Zaven Collins and Dennis Gardeck. And Dennis Gardeck, guys, important to note about him, because I did want to focus on him. He's their outstanding player on defense, and now that Budda Baker is gone. The Cardinals, again, he's gone and Watkins is gone, but now this guy's going to step up here outside. He's a quote-unquote outside linebacker. He plays in that line and pass rushes. He's been able to step up and find success early in the season. And he's helped in the rush by getting involved and breaking things up and rushing the passer as well. He has 3 sacks already, like Osa, like Micah Parsons. And he has made life difficult for Sam Howell against the Commanders in week 1 and Daniel Jones in the pocket week 2. Again, now an opportunity could await the Cowboys' offensive line to hold firm against a decent pass rusher, right? Another decent, good pass rusher. So, again, we'll see if he can do that. Is his hot streak going to be to overcome our Cowboys? I don't think so. We got a veteran offensive-led line. So we're going to handle number 45 and number 25, I think, pretty well. But those are the guys to watch on their pass rush, on their defensive line. Inside, they got no one. Now, you see number 7 going to the linebackers. They got to stop the run. Kazir White. Does that sound familiar? Philadelphia Eagle, formerly. They signed him during free agency this offseason, played for the Eagles, so we know him. He's got good size and good speed and a good build for the linebacker position to stop the run, but he's also good at recognizing the play, the football IQ side of things. So he's going to be number 7 is going to be a player who's going to try to help stop the run. If he does not do that, the game is over. His issues will come when his change of direction skills and just general athleticism. It's only about average when you look at every NFL player at that linebacker position. The other free agent right now for the Cardinals that they signed in the offseason at linebacker is Chris Barnes. He previously played, if you guys sounds kind of a little familiar, he did play with the Green Bay Packers, but he was very underwhelming in Green Bay, and he has 71 snaps for the Cardinals, only 9 tackles for Barnes. They also have an injured Josh Woods. He was held out of last week's game because of an ankle injury. He still hasn't practiced this week, so they're really light at linebacker with only number 7 over there. Because you're white to maybe help out with some of the run game. It ain't going to happen. He's going to get smashed, and we should run all over this team pretty easily. The Cardinals, again, we talk about injuries. The Cardinals lost Buda Baker in the secondary. It's a major blow to them. He's been placed on IR, and if that's the real big talk. Now, who's left on the Cardinal defensive backfield? This is it's hard for me to say this because they got nobody. We can run or pass on this team. The Cardinals now have to kind of lean on a drafted cornerback, a rookie. We just dealt with some rookies in New York and, dealt some veterans in the Jets. But now we're going to deal with Trayvon Clark. Trayvon Clark, not pictured because these guys are just not there yet. So far, he's allowed only 8 receptions, but it's been off of 12 targets. So it's not that scary to throw against him. Opposite side of him is Marco Wilson. He's allowing a completion rate of 81%. When the quarterbacks target him, and I'm talking about quarterbacks, let's be specific, Sam Howell and Daniel Jones, these aren't the best of the best. When these guys targeted him this year, he's given up a passer rating of 139.6. That's out of 162 or something like that. Guys, these guys are getting burned. Both their starting corners are getting shellacked out there. That's the 7th highest rating. That's the 7th highest QBR allowed against opposing quarterbacks in the NFL. The Cardinals have huge health issues with their players. Buda Baker, some guys banged up on the defensive front. They do have talent, but a lot of these guys are out, banged up. Now facing our Cowboys, solid wide receiving core with hopefully Brandon Cooks back. Our offensive line, they got some guys pass rushing. We got an offensive line with backups that's allowed 1 sack. So we're going to probably expose their coverage issues some more in this game. We're going to expose their run defense. What else can I say, guys? That's the wrap-up. That's how simple it was. The Cardinals are in deep shit trying to play us. And tomorrow we're going to talk about matchups. And on Saturday, keys to victory. But there's not much there for the Cardinals.
This week, it's literally just how many different ways can
we destroy
describe
this team?
Kicking someone's ass?
I know.
Let's find out. But at the same time, this is not to say that I'm not overhyping our Cowboys. I'm not we're going to crush them, we're going to whatever. It's not even about doing it in a braggadocious way. It's just that we clearly know we have the better team. We just know that we have to go out there and execute it the way that we have week 1, week 2, with this kind of new mentality that we've been heading into the last few games into. So,
agree. But it's the crazy thing about this? You guys asked, what's the score prediction? We'll talk about that much detail more tomorrow and Saturday.
The cart before the horse.
I agree about this. But I had said 30-0 as a kind of a general thought and a joke. I'm thinking 40-0 now. After listening to the Cardinals, they're not even half as good as the Giants on offense and defense. So can I expect this team to score 10 points on us? Fuck no.
Even I said I think they'll at least score a field goal. So
they could. The Giants had 2 opportunities.
40-3.
The Giants at most could have had 6 points. So I guess the Cardinals could pull 6 or 9 points out if they get lucky. But this defense ain't gonna play. Is not gonna let down, and they're not gonna let off the pedal here, baby. You know why? Because no more Trayvon Diggs. I'm telling you, this team's gonna play for Trayvon Diggs, and the Cardinals are gonna be the ones, dealing with the skull bashing we're gonna give the team that is in front of us now. It's the Cardinals, and that Trayvon Diggs kind of push. Second gear, whatever, it's coming. It's going to be tread around their heads on these Cardinals. I mean, they're going to look at that cardinal bird in the background there, or the angry bird, or the bird right there down on the ground. Don't look for the Cardinals. I can't wait to talk to my brother, Dr. G, who will be I'll probably talk to him tomorrow afternoon or evening, or Saturday afternoon or evening, and we'll get his comments of this red team, the Cardinals, our opponent. Probably I'll be posting that on Saturday. It'll be shown here on the stream, so make sure you join us for the Saturday night pregame preview of this Week 3, I don't want to say battle or matchup, in this Week 3 game against the, again, Arizona Cardinals. That's all I can say about that. Now, baby, any quick comments from you or the chat, or we're going to do our good nights here right now?
I'm going to do some final shout-outs / reading some of these comments here. But
Perfect.
Before I do, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes.
Thank you to our sponsor of the week. Woo! A big mahalo to Mark Hovsepian, of course.
The man, Mark Hovsepian.
And it was Jason Renfro as the stream boss, but now the Cash App King
Take
is
over.
Dominating it there as well. SnugX, fully loaded up. You know why he's here.
Man.
And he's been on the Cash App board for 6 weeks in a row, trying to go for that Trayvon
Diggs.
7.
For Trayvon, SnugX. He's in the lead right now for Trayvon and getting that 7 in a row. So we'll see what happens on that side. SnugX is a takeover because he's also not just our only over everything member. Is he going to appear on our Saturday show as well? We'll see. But we'll talk to him behind the scenes. But SnugX is also the current overall leader, as you see him trickling through there on the board. Much love to the man SnugX, who's just like take over the stream boss, took over the Cash App, took over the overall board. Other than the gifting membership, SnugX, he's wiping the floor with everyone right now, though Mark's still representing. He's at the top of the board. You got Jason Renfro still representing. He's got the, he's the leader right now in the gifting membership side of things, and Ron the Don representing it there this entire week. So thank you guys for making things happen, and the battle ensues, continues, and beyond. We have better battles on here with the family than what should be on that field against the Cardinals this week. We should wipe the floor with that team based on their ability, their talent level. I'm not trying to overhype it. I'm just being honest about it.
Cowboys are number one. It's okay.
Yeah. All right.
But real quick, I apologize. I'm very tired, and I did miss another $10 Cash App drop.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Snug X in the house.
Thank you, Snug. I appreciate you. Much love. Thank you to everybody here showing the love. But yes, thank you, Snug. He's definitely going for some domination here.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. I know sometimes, it's a little slow on that side of things. Snug X always knows how to throw the life back into it. So appreciate you, Snug. And hey, that life is takeover time for Snug X. So appreciate you, sir.
But right now it is bedtime.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and hit up the chat.
We're going overtime. We went an extra stream today. Two streams.
This afternoon stream was supposed to be a little shorter. Emphasis on supposed to be.
10 minutes longer is what it was. That's all.
It's okay. But Tyrone Church, much love. He said, I got Malik Hooker with 6+ interceptions. Watch. He's going to play like Ed Reed. Woo! Hey, again, the season, yes. The entire secondary has to, again, rise and meet that challenge. So
I'm with you, Tyrone.
I have a feeling Bland probably won't have as many as he did last season. But I do agree somebody's going to go ahead and step in and fill that role. Why not have it be Malik Hooker?
I think it could be Hooker playing center field. Also, it could be Deron Bland. Nose for the ball.
That's Smodius, much love. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Yes, guys. And if you do want a little bit more of an in-depth discussion on the Trayvon Diggs topic, we did go live earlier. So if you want to check out that earlier stream, it's about an hour long. And we basically discussed absolutely everything Trayvon Diggs related in much more detail.
All the details, the back of it, the pure feeling we had, the anger, the downness of that, you hear it there. There's no fake in the phone.
And obviously a lot more points from people's thoughts in the chat as well, as far as their thoughts on the Trayvon thing specifically.
Yeah.
So that's Smodius. Much love to you. I hope you also have a great night. Xavier Hidalgo, hey, if both teams are 4-0 heading into that game, again.
I'm excited for that. I want both teams undefeated.
You know what's going to happen all week. That's all anybody will be able to talk about.
Well, we'll be talking about it all week.
I know. Jobs at Cowboys on said this game at least will let Bland get his feet wet, let the defense adjust.
He did it last year, like half the season. Not half the season, but like the last couple of weeks, he played on the outside, so he'll be good.
Yeah, the only benefit you could say about playing the Cardinals at this particular point in time, it is basically like a slightly more weighty scrimmage. And again, I don't even like to say that because it feels like I'm discounting them, but we all know that the talent level is just not the same.
If we lose, it's a huge embarrassment to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I don't care about Trayvon Diggs' situation. Nothing to do with winning or losing against the Cardinals.
Yeah, if we lose, that's because half our team got the flu or something. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Or we just overlooked them and it's embarrassing and we're not a Super Bowl team anymore.
Yeah, for Retro Scotty. Oh, I hope you feel better. Take it easy, man. Allergy season.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad here too, man.
Bama fan, much love to you. Appreciate you rolling through here. Of course, the man, Snug X.
Snug.
Chuck to Montana today said, y'all leave little Billington alone. Oh, Mary Alvarez, thank you so much. Thank you for rolling through
much
here.
Much love, Mary.
You have a great night as well. Let me see. Beetlejuice representing.
It's Beetle.
Oh, let me see.
You gotta watch Howard to know that.
Of course, Mark Hosepian, a big mahalo to you.
Mark.
Jason Renfro, Dallas
Much
J,
love.
Simon Says, Austin Taylor.
Yeah, everyone.
Haley 94 Ware, Chappelle Hannon.
Big guns are out.
They come back down. All of you, yes. Oh, weighty scrimmage. So, like I said, it's like it's got more weight than just like a scrimmage practice, but it certainly doesn't feel like a regular just football game.
No, it's
so
listen. It's a game we should dominate. Case closed. By the way, I want to shout out a couple of people here that dropped the love earlier in the stream and tonight. Spock, can you save me? Jangly Echoes, Cat 52, Snug X, Jason Renfro, and Mark Hosepian. Much love to all you guys for the drops of love from above. So, and again, can't do this without you guys' love and support. Tomorrow, it is matchup time. We're going to break it down a little more keen and insightful. Of course, we'll figure out what the injury reports are going to look like for tomorrow's kind of, I guess you could say, designation for the game, injury designation. A lot of we're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. I'm sure more trickling of Trayvon and other information. Biadasz, of course. But, it's going to be, when it comes to this matchup, matchup. Exactly, guys. We're going to check it out, and we're going to break down the more important places. We got to keep our eyes in the game so we're going to win at. And then on Saturday, some keys to victory. Hopefully, my brother, Dr. G, shows up, and we may even have a surprise appearance by Snug X. We'll discuss that all and more in our preview stream as we get ready for a Sunday night. Cameras on, lights on, action on. And myself and the wife sit here and give you guys our watch party play-by-play thoughts as it happens live here with you guys. So, baby, before we can drop out of here for the night, why do we do this here on MCF?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. And today was ugly. We, no matter what, here on this channel, rep that star over everything. And again, here, my Cowboys family, 6+ years, 7+ seasons. Baby, let them know why we do this, not just each and every night, but let them know what's the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long, no joke. Thank you guys for dropping the love from above. Truly appreciate your support for the channel here. A lot of you guys on the nightly, so we bow down to the best fans in the business. And on that note, baby, it is time to clock out and drop out from this stream. We had 2 back-to-back ones today, like our 90s Cowboys. And we're gonna get back on it tomorrow and break it down for Fan Friday. So, guys, without further ado, baby, before we can drop out of here for the night, tell everybody what we gotta do before we drop out.
We gotta drop the beat.
And that beat is now officially been dropped. Guys, thank you once again for rocking with us on this almost end of the week, right? So some places we got Friday already. It's Fan Friday already. Thank you guys. Truly cannot do this without your love and support, your thoughts. We try to get everybody's comments. I know it. Sometimes we don't do it. But either way, guys, we'll be back tomorrow doing this again. News, info, and updates. You know how we do here, right here on My Cowboys Family. Another Cowboys chat in the books. Talked about that Cardinal defense. Talked about I said that Cardinal defense. We talked about that defense, not that good, but we talked about our offensive issues when it comes to the offensive line. Injuries, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Biadasz. Talked about the greatness of CeeDee Lamb this year, and Dak spoke as well. Got to get more. And, of course, we had to talk about the injury of number 7, Trayvon Diggs. Man, we're not going to see him till 2024. Trust me. I wish I could say something to change this. Do something to change this. Cannot change this. But the great teams get over these things and can conquer blows like this. If we conquer this blow, that 6 is in range. Here in MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything, always over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house here, suffering through this with us. Appreciate you all, guys. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Fan Friday. Thank you for hitting that like, subbing it up, and hitting that notification bell, guys. See you on Fan Friday. Much love. Have a good night. Peace out. Oh, yeah. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!